Warmachine board, battle report. Cygnar versus Cryx.
Hi there, Steve here from the Mighty Die. Got another bat rep for you. This one's from a few weeks ago, and I just wanted to get it up literally before it faded from my mind completely. So my memory's already a bit fuzzy on this one. But we haven't got round to doing our commentary yet, so I thought I'd just get it ready, get it done, and get it up on the channel. So it's a Caine 2 versus Goreshade 2 game. So I was playing Caine 2, and Christian was playing Goreshade 2. It's his Goreshade Bane factory list, and he was trying it out for Mark 3. So my Cygnar list consists of Caine 2. He's got a Squire, and he also has 2 Stormclads in his battle group, and he's got Ace. You can see them set up on the table here. He's also got 2 Gunmage captains. They are both, one of them's the real Gunmage captain model, and the other one's just been represented by the unit attachment from the old Gunmages. And then I've got a minimum unit of Stormblades, just 6 guys. Max unit of Trenchers without the UA. I've also got Finn there on the front line, and the chain gun cannon crew. Now I have to admit that this is only my second game. This was only the second game I'd played of Mark III, so it's not what my Caine 2 list looks like now. So the trenches are missing their command attachment, which I think is a mistake. I think they're really good with a command attachment. Yeah, a minimum unit of Stormblades isn't that great as well. Their command attachment is very good for them too. So yeah, my Caine 2 list has changed a bit since this game, but I'm just making excuses really. So the Goreshade list looks like this. So we've got Goreshade the Cursed, we've got 2 Desecrators, which in this case are being represented by the Bane Rider models there. So Chris is still waiting, I believe, for his Desecrators, and he wanted to test out the list before having to actually have finished models on the table. There's a Death Ripper there, and a Night Wretch. I'm not sure which is which on the setup, to be honest. I've long since forgotten. I'm sure it's something to do with the teeth on the models. Then there's Tartarus is there. He's the really huge silver guy. Everyone hates Tartarus. There's a max unit of Bane Knights. There's a unit of Bane Warriors with the command attachment. And those ones are on either side of the army there. And then we've got a unit of Mechana Thralls up front, the black guys. And there's also a Necrosurgeon and Stitch Thralls. So I won the roll-off, and I decided to go first, as I usually would. Here's the setup on the table. We're playing whatever the scenario is, with the 2 zones with the objectives in the middle. I've no idea what objectives we chose. So I'm just set up to go up the middle. I was actually quite looking forward to this match and kind of rubbing my hands with glee, expecting to win, because my list is excellent at killing infantry, and Christian's list is just infantry spam with a couple of heavy jacks for shooting. And it's a Bane factory list, so the whole idea is that it doesn't matter how many Banes you kill, more come back. So yeah, so my first turn was really just running everything up, getting the trenches up front. So my idea in this case was that the trenches were just completely to sacrifice. They'd have one good turn of destruction and then they would get munched, which actually turns out wasn't especially good. So nowadays I would have chosen the CA and had them do cautious advances up the table instead. Yeah, I've split off one of the Stormclads onto the right to deal with any guys trying to claim my zone or threaten the objective. Aces up on the hill to get a good line of sight on everyone. Caine's straight in the middle. I believe I put the no knockdown spell on the trenches with Caine. And the Stormblades are just trying to spread out a bit just to make sure that the Stormclads can get their free focus. So, Cryx's turn, he tried to shoot at my trenches. I believe he killed one guy, got a direct hit with one, and missed with another, which scattered back towards his guys. And so those are the Desecrators shooting, I should say. And those two templates stay in the middle for a whole turn, so that's an area effect of corrosion damage. So it just blocks my advancing a little bit on my next turn. And apart from that, models just moved up. As you can see, Goreshade is now hiding in that forest. So Caine 2 is well known for his assassination, and Goreshade was a bit worried about that, so he's hiding away in the forest there. Tartarus is hiding there as well. And that's it really. The Bane Knights are hiding behind that building, but they've got Ghostly, so they can just drift through it on the next turn. So looking at my second turn, so the trenches have obviously done an assault, and they've taken out a lot of Mechanothralls and a couple of Banes here and there. Now, one of my biggest mistakes of this game was that I put my two gun mages on either side of the chain gun crew, and they had a lot of nice shots and certainly killed off some guys, but grouping them so close together there was a big mistake. And also forgetting that the gun mage captains had reposition, which is also a big mistake. So there really is no reason to be putting high defense models right next to large based low defense models. Big mistake. The Stormclad on the right has just carefully advanced up into the zone, and he's just staying out of range of the charge range of the Banes in the forest, because they are ghostly. They'll be able to just charge at him without any problems. There's a red template down, which is the covering fire template from the chain gun crew even. I believe Ace took some shots from his position on the hill. The other Stormclad advanced up, and I don't think did anything. And I believe Caine advanced up quite a long way, took some shots with a trick shot, which is just amazing, and then used remaining focus just to fall back using his teleport spell. And the Stormblades just spread out again, trying to make sure that they're within range. So one of the Stormblades is split off there, you can see, just to make sure that the Stormclads can get their free focus on the next turn. So yes, so at the moment it's looking pretty rosy for Cygnar. Really killed an awful lot of models. You can see them all lined up on the other edge of the board there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 dead models. So against any other opponent, against any other warcaster, that would have been a pretty devastating turn 2. Yeah, so moving on. So the counter-attack has happened, and it's pretty bad. And as you can see, there's two templates stacked on top of each other where the chain gun crew and the two gun mage captains used to be. So that was the big mistake, was that putting those gun mages next to the chain gun crew allowed both of the desecrators, I think they are, both of the heavy Cryx jacks to shoot and kill both the chain gun and both the gun mage captains. So that was pretty abysmal. Also pretty silly was allowing Ace on the left to get run engaged by one of the Bane Knights. So he's pretty stuck there and can't really do much shooting on my next turn. Almost all of the trenches have been wiped out by Banes. So at the time I didn't think that was particularly bad, but now I realise that trenches are a bit more valuable than just fodder. So it was a bit silly just running them up ready to get massacred, especially as some of his abilities allowed new Banes to be generated by killing trenches. Tartarus has advanced out of the forest, and Goreshade has advanced a little bit further into the forest. I believe I was doing some trick shots onto Tartarus and proving that he wasn't quite 3 inches deep into the forest, which allowed me to kill some stuff that I think Christian wasn't expecting. So yeah, he's moved Goreshade further in, moved Tartarus out. And other than that, there's just a lot of Banes rolling across the board towards me, and not really showing any signs of stopping. I believe because there's now fewer models, dead models over on the other side of the table. I believe that was his feet turn. So bringing back some extra Banes to be extra annoying. Yeah, and I think the Stitch Surgeon, what's it called? Thrall Surgeon? Stitch Thrall Surgeon is actually representing a Bane there next to the templates. So moving on to my next turn. And yeah, it wasn't nearly as killy as I was hoping, although there was the total number of models on the table is really, really going down now. But as you can see, so those 2 trenches are still surviving there. Just moving them, shuffling them around to try and tie up the heavy jacks and the chicken jack there. Tartarus got killed. I can't remember how now. I imagine that Caine killed him. Caine would have popped out, taken some shots, and then teleported behind the Stormcloud on the right there, trying to block line of sight to the chicken jack, because Goreshade 2 has a pretty good assassination vector when casting spells through a running arc node. The Stormblades have spread right out. I think each of them charged an individual Bane Knight, so my plan was that they would probably be dying on the next turn, so it didn't matter too much if they weren't in command range anymore. Finn is still alive. He's just been taking pot shots, and I think Ace managed to, along with one of the Stormblades, managed to kill off the Bane Knights that were blocking him in. So yeah, so again, quite a killy round, but just probably not quite enough to sway the game in my favour. Now the next Cryx turn was pretty critical. I took out my Squire. As you can see, there's those 2 Desecrators took another 2 shots. I believe they started to take some boxes off of Caine as well. And yeah, 2 zones of corrosion there that I would have to move out of on my turn. There's almost all of the Stormblades are gone now, so there's very few of my models left on the table. And I think Christian managed to tip it over in his favour. He just managed to kill enough of my stuff, and I just managed to not kill quite enough of his stuff. And so it's getting pretty desperate for me. So my next turn. So Caine has gone all the way over to the furthest distance away into my zone, just to stop Christian just winning on scenario. And I charged my Stormblade towards one of his to one of his Desecrators, but unfortunately he didn't do enough to kill him. Ace is still tied up by a Bane Knight, and yeah, it's generally just sort of the very end game, and Christian's just finding a way to finish it as soon as possible. So Christian's next turn, Caine is still alive but not looking too healthy. Or is this? No, actually this is the end, this is the final turn. I think Caine's actually dead at this point. So just behind the big white house there you can see there's one of these arc nodes, and what he did was just run the arc node, I think the 14-inch run, which is a hell of a long way across the board, and then combine that with casting a spell using Goreshade through the arc node, and that was enough to finish off Caine. So Caine is even though he's an excellent assassination warcaster, he's very, very vulnerable to his own getting assassinated himself, especially against boosted to hit spells and boosted to damage. In fact, 1 or 2 hits is usually enough to finish him off. It's not the first time that Caine's been assassinated, and I'm sure it won't be the last time, but I am trying to learn to use him a lot better now. So yeah, so I just didn't have enough board presence to prevent that assassination anymore. And yeah, so I think that was a pretty good game. I was extremely confident at the beginning that I would win because of how much infantry killing potential I had. And so I learned a lesson in humility by getting Caine assassinated in the end, after losing the war of attrition against that Goreshade 2 Bane factory. So that's as much as I can remember from this game. It was good fun, and I'm looking forward to a similar matchup sometime in the future. Alright, see you next time.